The community term for that is war crime. It's called a war crime.
Double kill.
Hello! I am Aoyalaipe, and I like to hop into top tier matches in War Thunder, and then personally kill the entire enemy team by myself. Welcome to my channel! A little known fact about War Thunder is that the most skilled top tier players tend to play arcade mode because arcade has no skill cap. You have enough ammo to kill the entire enemy team by yourself in arcade, so it's the preferred game mode of choice for people who are good enough to kill entire teams by themselves. Now, it's true that all the other players also get, their ammo also reloads, but, I don't let them shoot me.
Double kill.
So, past BR 9.0 or so, a lot of players will just run screaming to the safety realistic mode because watching one guy fly through an endless hail of missiles without getting hit and then vaporizing your whole team by himself is just really intimidating. I understand. And you don't see stuff like that happen very often in realistic. Most players don't understand that in top tier arcade, you not only need to know the planes and the missiles, but you also need to know how to get inside someone's head and mess with them. If you can do that, you'll be able to fly through a crowd of people and have no one notice you're there. During my rampages, situational awareness, misdirection, and dirty tricks are the things I'm putting the most effort into. But they might not look like anything to you, which is kind of the point. Anyways, I'm in my F-15A at the moment. Fast plane, a lot of firepower, love it, handles great. You saw this plane last month when I went on a nutty kill streak with it right before Christmas. After I wrapped up my Su-27 video, I figured it was time to come back and really show what this plane can do. Now, I was going to take down that Mirage, but then the F-16 turned, and that gave me an easier shot on a higher priority target. The F-16 tried to use the terrain to duck my missile, but he just barely didn't go low enough to break line of sight, and the missile curves around and kills him. Briefly breaking line of sight won't always defeat rank 8 missiles, but it usually will. The reason no one snuck up on me was because I knew no one was in the vicinity when I first attacked the F-16, and by moving fast and spamming countermeasures, it would have been very hard for anyone to position themselves and then actually launch a missile at me before I was able to successfully duck behind that hill that the F-16 didn't. And here we have an Su-27 out in the open at medium range, perfect for an AIM-9M. The Su-27 sees the missile and turns to attack me with his R-73, when he instead should have hit the deck and taken cover behind a hill and circled around to get me. I can easily flare his R-73, but he can't easily flare the AIM-9M.
Triple kill.
As for all these other planes, they're slower than me, so I just outrun their turns. And then I take cover behind a hill and there's nothing they can do to kill me. It's hard to overstate just how important the terrain is when it's available. Missiles do not go through mountains, and people can't even shoot a missile at you if there's a mountain in the way. It makes when it comes to paying attention, it just makes your life so much easier. So I guess we'll just go ahead and make another pass through the enemy team. If you're confused how that's even possible to do repeatedly without being shot down, go watch my guides. Pro tip, by the way, if you're making less than perfect shots and you have a choice, just aim them at premium planes. The players are less likely to know how to dodge them or to notice they're coming in the first place. This game is often pay to lose, especially in Air Arcade and top tier. Players with a lot of crews will sometimes bring prop planes as backups into top tier matches to sort of just spam them at you at the end of the game. So if you mow down all of the enemy team's good planes and you're still in your best plane because you never got shot down while you mowed everyone else down, this is called snowballing, by the way, then yeah, there probably will be a few prop planes to mop up, and I'm not gonna lie, demoting someone into a prop plane and then shooting down their prop plane with F-15 is really funny. But in this particular match, there were a few players that they were just throwing the kitchen sink at me. Whenever I mow down an entire team by myself, there will often be at least a few enemy players who will pop all their jets, all their props, and all their backups in an attempt to revenge kill me.
Double kill.
And I really appreciate the extra targets. It really pads the kill streak so it looks cooler when I add it to my video intros. Speaking of prop planes, I was going to seal club the Spitfire, but an F8 shows up and he's an actual threat. F8s they can basically outrun anything they can outmaneuver and outmaneuver anything they can outrun, so they have an angle to play against everyone. They're actually still a threat at rank 8. I do sometimes take them into rank 8 matches just for fun. So some prop planes have decided to chase me for some reason. So I was hoping I could use a radar missile against these guys, but they're too close together, so I'm gonna have to nuke these poor prop planes with AIM-9Ms, and that's the community term for that is war crime. That's what you call it when a jet gets to shoot down a prop plane.
Double kill.
It's called a war crime. And yes, infrared missiles will lock onto prop planes at close range. I'm not gonna lie, I think every top tier player gets at least a little bit of a guilty pleasure out of blasting some shitty prop plane with an overpowered missile. Like, after you've just demoted the enemy team back to props, it's hilarious. Speaking of real planes, this F-104 tries to outturn my AIM-7. When he actually had a canyon right in front of him, he could have dived in there, I wouldn't have been able to get him. That was a very, very, very easy shot to dodge if he'd been keeping his eye out for terrain. Now, suddenly I'm surprised by a radar lock and I don't know where it's coming from. So I'm going to dive right into that canyon he didn't, and it's going to break the radar lock because the radar doesn't see through the frickin' mountain. When you look at a canyon, a hill, or a mountain, you should be thinking that's home base. That is the safe zone. If there's missiles flying around and you have no idea what's going on, if you dip into, say, a canyon, there's no one. The only way anyone's going to get you is if they're directly above you or directly behind you, and that's not very likely. Now, I'm at 18 kills at the moment. I want to make it a 20-kill game, so I'm going to flank this F-16 and F-4s to leave the spawn, and because there's very few enemy players left, I'm going to fire 2 AIM-9Ms at each of them. The first AIM-9M will kill the F-16, but the first AIM-9M I shoot at the F-4 only crits him.
Double kill.
The second missile looks like did actually eventually get him. It took a while to reach him, though. Please remember that if your team is on the fritz, the enemy team will circle your spawn, not so much camping you, but competing to be the guy who kills you. If you're in that situation, you can just leave the game. The red respawn timer, where like your crew's locked, will expire early if the game ends before the timer does, and if your team is circling the drain, the game is about to end. So leave. It's not fun, don't stick around. But I got one guy left here, so I'm just going to hose him with AIM-7s, and the dodge is one, but the second gets him. And that was the last guy, so that's the whole team just dead. I killed it. Man, that was fun. Another funny thing that tends to happen when a team dies a long, slow death like that one just did is if there's only 1 or 2 ground pounders on your team, they will just go nuts. They'll have the time of their lives. Just ask the 2 of them that passed me on the scoreboard there. They were dropping so many bombs, and there's no one to stop them. And what's kind of crazy is, despite this being like a completely full match, I personally had more kills than the entire enemy team put together, like all their players. So even if none of my teammates had gotten any kills, the other team still would have gone negative overall just from me. I hope you enjoyed my video. Feel free to watch my other videos if you either want to learn how to play top tier Arcade or just see how insane it can get.